Hey guys, welcome to the Centre Balance. Today we're talking about Nathan Fyfe, the $313,600 forward from the Fremantle Dockers. Stay tuned.
Mid forward.
Big J. He's a mid forward, is he?
Yeah, he's got DPP.
Oh, he's got DP. Big whoop. No one's putting him in the midfield anyway.
That's true.
Big J. We got Fyfe in the forward line. Oh no, what's going on?
Oh man, he's kind of fallen from grace, isn't he? He was a main pick for a lot of people like 3 or 4 years ago. And now we've got him at a super cheap price, DPP, as we said in the intro, majority forward line selection. I think he will be anyway with the mid prices like Hopper we've got there. Mate, is this like the second coming of Jesus? What's happening?
I know, right? For a guy like Fyfe, honestly, Fyfe does not get the recognition that he deserves. If he was playing for a Victorian club, there would certainly be a lot more fanfare and raving about him. He is so good. He has averaged over 100 every single season of his career, apart from last year and his debut season. The guy has been just a freak. He is so good. To get him at 313K is ridiculous. You can certainly question, is this the second coming of Jesus? Are we at the apocalypse? What the hell is going on here? But that just goes to show, unfortunately, just the story of what's happened to him later in his career.
Mate, you've almost convinced me already. Let's just turn off the episode. We'll just go home early, say, see you later, guys. Pick Fyfe. He's really cheap. He's valued low. Just get him in your team. I'm done. That's it. Episode's finished.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, the guy's got a career average of 104. Getting him when he's priced at 57. Almost half. Literally, it's something that he's done it for his whole career. Why not? I mean, the thing is, this guy, he's spoken a bit about his emotional state and his mental health battles off the field, and the guy is so well spoken and he's so likable, so genuine. You can't help but really feel for him, especially when you look at the heights that he's reached in terms of his footballing ability, and a guy of his nature, having to go through those troubles. It really is a bit of an eye opener, huh?
Yeah, definitely. You hear dual Brownlow medalist and you think everything's rosy, but as with everybody, football players are still human, and then they've got off-field troubles and things going on in their life that, unless they actually talk about it, you don't really know.
That's exactly right. And Connor Rosie wishes he's half the footballer that Nat Fyfe is, especially when he ends his career. If he's had a career half as good as Fyfe's, then he'll definitely be very happy about that. But
just,
I mean,
one Brownlow.
Just one Brownlow, exactly. Just one. That's what we want. Half as good. No, honestly, this guy he's been such a great player on the field. He's one of those early examples of what it means to be a big-bodied midfielder, where you're able to just tower over your opposition and take some ripping marks. He really, I think, was one of those earlier prototypes of what it means to be a modern footballer. And the things that he was capable of doing was something really impressive. As he's gotten older, his body has unfortunately really let him down. And that young list around him at Freo has really developed in a great way. They were the fourth youngest, I think, team last year. And they won a final. Yeah, not only make finals, they won a final. They're coming back against the Bulldogs. So you can see that this Fremantle team, so young and so full of promise, and yet so talented, it must be great for him to not have to be the man all the time anymore. Now, later on his career, he's relying on the next set of leaders like your Brayshaws, for example, and your Sarongs and players of that caliber. I think it should still be good for him, and it will be great for his game this year.
Yeah, 100%. He comes into the season, obviously, we've said 313K, and he's only priced at a 57. At the start, we were talking about how every year, barring his first year of football, he scored over 100. So if you think he can't kind of make similar scoring to last year, I think don't pick him, but otherwise he's got to be in consideration somewhere. He's kind of come into the preseason feeling a lot better and kind of realized, as we've said at the start, hey, he's got older. There's some talks at the moment, maybe he's going to be playing some midfield, but also some forward. There's been some really good footage. Have you seen any of that, Joe?
I have. He's been looking really good. I thought the biggest knock on him was that he couldn't kick a set shot to save his life. And if he's going to be playing predominantly forward, then that's a big problem. But now he's looking really good. The footage is definitely very reassuring.
Yeah. I think there was also an article the other day saying, hey, he's come in and dropped 10 kilos as well. So Mundy's kind of gone in that midfield. And we were talking a bit about the start of how Freo's not gone past him, but they haven't made him be the required player anymore. And truly, in my heart, like I feel like that's almost a good thing for Fyfe, where hey, he can go forward, but he will play some time in the mid. And we're just focusing on how cheap he is as well. He's that kind of player that, yes, he's not going to be keeping him for the whole year. But if he comes out and has a good first 3 or 4 games, we're talking like an 85, which for a player of his caliber, you know, dual Brownlow medalist, that kind of thing, he makes you that 150K really quick. And, you know, round 6, first set of upgrades, you can ship him off and see you later.
Yeah, I mean, Mundy's gone. Mundy's retired. So he's definitely well and truly out of the picture there. So with a guy like Fyfe, I mean, I think the talent, there's no denying that. But with Supercoach, it's so the scoring of a player is so intertwined with the role that they play. I think that's probably the biggest thing that a lot of people are keeping their eye out on, especially during the preseason practice games. Like, is he going to play that predominantly, you know, forward position like it was earmarked a bit earlier on? They've lost Rory Lobb. He was their number one, you know, target inside forward 50, and he kicked the majority of their goals. So they've lost a lot of firepower. Now they have added, you know, the likes of Luke Jackson, who a lot of times when he wasn't rucking with Gawn, he was pushed forward. But, you know, depending on the opposition that they play, he might be having 70% ruck time. So the number one target then becomes Darcy. I don't know how reliable he is in terms of his goal-kicking ability. I think someone with the athleticism and size and ground-level presence like Fyfe, I think he might become too integral to that forward line for him to come out a lot. And if he's stuck playing forward, obviously that will make it harder for him to score consistently, you know, 87 plus. But having said that, he's playing for Freo, who are a very good team with a great midfield and now 2 great rucks. So you never know. He might be getting a lot of supply in that forward line. So I think definitely he is a viable pick, I would have to say, at this point, especially for that price.
Yeah, I guess kind of we've harped on his price a lot and his scoring output in this episode because that's kind of the main thing. You know, on paper, Fyfe looks fantastic. Yes, he's going to be 32 at some point during the season, but if he's come back in ripping form, if he hasn't really had any niggles or anything like that, you've seen the preseason footage. He's kicking goals left, right, and center. I saw he did a mark. He didn't even look at the ball. It was just like, yep, here's the ball. I've got it. It was fantastic. He doesn't have to score 100, which is, I think, a thing that a lot of the time people do Supercoach kind of look at these picks. And the magic number with it increasing with the baseline, you know, average of a player they're valued at kind of going down now. These players don't have to do as much to make a lot of money, especially these guys around the 350 mark. You know, if we came in and said, hey, Fyfe, he's got to be there. Yep, we need him to make a 100 score. Then my recommendation to pick him, or at least considering him in your team, would be it wouldn't be there at all. But an 87's not hard to get. That's only like, 20 points a quarter. That's like 3 kicks and a mark and something else. You know, if he gets a tackle, that's 20 points, Joe. It's not much.
Yeah, exactly. He takes a nice contested mark from a kick from Brayshaw inside 50. He converts that goal. You know, it's not hard. A guy of his caliber, absolutely. He's not being required to bring you the world. He just needs to contribute, play his role for that really good Fremantle side. And he should be able to score that 87, you know, in maybe even surpass it. He might have a game where he kicks a bag. You know, he doesn't have to kick a bag, but he's definitely has that capability. So, and he's not someone that you're looking to keep all year. You're just hoping that he can stay there, stay healthy, play out the first few weeks, perform really well, and they have a great starting fixture as well. I don't see a reason why he can't have a great start to the year, have an average of an 87 or 90, make us 150k, and exactly ship them off in the first, in round 6. There is absolutely nothing stopping you from doing that. So
yeah,
it's very hard, I suppose, to I can understand people saying that he's too old and the role, but if people are saying that he's not going to pinch hit in the middle at some point, I think that's a bit far-fetched. He's not going to be stuck like a ball and chain around his ankle. You're not allowed to leave the forward 50. That's just not going to happen. He's going to have a pinch hit here and there, especially if there's someone got injured. He could play like a stringer type of role.
Maybe he rotates with a Will Brodie who moves around or goes off the field, that kind of thing. He can still be that contested beast, that midfield gun. Just doesn't do it every week. If you look at kind of their early round fixture, St Kilda, you'd think Freo would dominate. They'd get majority of the points, especially with no King and their problems they've got at the moment. North Melbourne, it's my team. Unfortunately, I think Freo's going to win. They're playing at home. Nat Fyfe back at home after being injured. The guy's going to smash it. West Coast in the Derby the week later. Like, how is Fyfe not going to have a good game in that game? You've got Adelaide at home. Okay, maybe Adelaide's going to give them a bit of a fight, but that's okay. And then Gold Coast coming up, like round 5. So if he comes in and gets a couple of hundreds in these first 5 or 6 games, mate, you're laughing. You're laughing. So we're not going to, well, I'm not going to say pick him in your team, but he's definitely got to be a bit of a gut feeling for you. Hey, if you think he can do it, look at his fixture, keep an eye on his preseason. Really, really have a look and say, hey, Taron Thomas has kind of come off the books now. There's no one really at this price in the forward line. You've got Allen, who's 200k. You've got Cunnington, who's like 400. There's not really someone there at that 300 mark. Maybe Flanders, but he's a bit sketch. With DPP, who could be a real stepping stone for you. And a bit of point of difference as well in those head-to-head matchups.
Yeah, exactly. Look, I right now don't have him in my team. I'm still really looking at him keenly over the preseason, over the practice games. I do want to have a bit more of a look at him and see how it goes and how it's structured up. But I'm still definitely very interested. I don't think the mid prices are great in the forward line.
No.
And I think he's better than a key forward like an Oscar Allen is personally. I think he has more avenues to goal, more avenues to score. So I do think that he's definitely a viable pick. I'm not gonna say don't go with him. He's more of a wait and see for me still. Is that the same for you?
Yeah, definitely the same for me as well. Obviously, I've spoke a lot in this episode about, hey, just watch out and wait and see. If you've got the cash, you could do a lot worse. But a wait and see for me.
Perfect. All right, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. This was our deep dive into Nat Fyfe, the superstar who does not get enough credit here in Victoria. Please like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell to be notified of all of our videos. There are going to be many of them. So please like, share, subscribe. This is the Centre Bounce.
Hey, guys. And remember, join our group as well. You can win some amazing prizes there. I'll put the link down in the description. Hey, guys, we do the hard work so you don't have to. Bye for now.